I wanted to talk about the political happenings in the recent past. After the maandamano, we saw the opposition claiming they were ready to talk. And so far, as of now, there are calls for bipartisan talk. The opposition have nominated their team, and the government has also done the same. What I wanted to talk about is what we can expect from the talks, and also what we shouldn't expect from the talks. Before we move to that, allow me to take you back to the first bipartisan talk. In that bipartisan talk, it had the same culmination as of this, because there were some violent demonstrations. The police came in to rain insanity, and then the opposition said they were willing to talk. And the president extended the olive branch, and finally each team nominated their members to have a parliamentary talk. This is something that the opposition didn't want, because they wanted extra parliamentary persons to also be part of the talk. And so the government, through Dr. William, has allowed that and said, okay, if that is what you want, then we can bring in somebody who is not from parliament. And so far, the talks have not yet started. They are still laying the rules. According to the opposition, there is what they want to be on the discussion. They are saying that the discussion shouldn't be limited to specific things. They are like, we should be allowed to bring every complaint we have on the table. The government team on the other side is insisting that that cannot be. The dialogue has to be structured, so it must have an agenda. It has to be dealing with specific issues. And just to walk you through, according to the government team, the only issues that are on the table is the constitution of IBC, entrenchment of the position of the leader of official opposition, and also there is also the entrenchment of the position of the cabinet prime cabinet secretary, that is. And they are saying we can also have discussions along the 2/3 gender rule, ensuring that it is actually implemented this time round. And so far, the government team has clear issues they would want discussed. But the opposition is saying they can't be limited. They want electoral reforms to be discussed. They want an audit of the 2022 election to be part of the discussion. They are saying that they also want the cost of living to be discussed, and the police brutality to be part of the discussion, among other issues. So let me just tell you the things that I believe will end up on the table. I am of the persuasion that it will be a give and take situation. So currently they are grandstanding, but for them to have a sit down, the government will find themselves loosening, and also the opposition will have to cede some grounds, because otherwise they will not have the bipartisan talk. It will not happen. If everybody insists that I want the discussion to revolve around the elections of 2022, I want it audited, as the opposition insists, and the government is saying that is not part of the talks. We cannot have that. So unless they come up and agree that this is what we are going to go for, this is what we are going to discuss, then there will be no discussion. But then let's move forward. Let's say they have agreed on what to discuss, and they sit down. There is the idea by the opposition team led by Kalonzo that these negotiations should be in hotels like Serena. The government position is that should not be. We can do the negotiations at the county hall, which is a government facility, and then we give it the publicity that it deserves, so that the negotiations don't become something like a private discussion. Because with a private discussion, there is a tendency that somebody will come up with a press conference saying this is what we agreed, then another team comes up with another press conference saying that is not what we talked about. So the government is saying let it be done at county hall or any public place. Let it be something that the public is allowed to attend. Let us put all those things on the table and for the public to also follow. The opposition is of the opinion that no, we need to have secret discussions, then inform our supporters later. So let's say they have agreed and discussed all this. What my expectations are is that the opposition will demand for a handshake. Because all these things, the politics of interest is the main agenda here. There is nothing like I want an audit of 2 or 2 elections. No, everybody knows that Raila lost. The result is out there on the IBC portal. And so anybody can tabulate and find that Raila lost. And that is why to date, they don't even have one single result that is different from whatever was displayed by IBC. So it's not about an audit. It is a case of, and they made it clear the other day, that they want an all-inclusive government. An all-inclusive government is the political term for I need to be included, or I need people I've nominated to be included in government in terms of appointments anyway. So let's say Raila and his team pursue this issue of handshake. And they're like, we don't want to make it like the way Uhuru did, where it is public, we are working with him, we are going with him places. No. I just want a situation where it is chini ya maji, kind of. So to the public, we don't have a nusu mkate, but in secret, the government the opposition enjoys favors from government. Maybe there's some monetary value added to those talks, etc. I want to tell you, if they pursue that, they will kill the talks even before it starts. Because the politics of 2023 is so different. Majority, if not all, supporters of William Ruto are so determined to end the culture of politics of impunity, where you go into an election knowing very well you will lose, but because you have people you can incite to blackmail the winner, you do so and always get what you want. Because if you study the politics of Raila, he is always gotten whatever it is that he wants. So he goes for an election, he loses, and then there is chaos, and then perhaps in unfortunate cases there are death, and he rides on this to bargain. And so supporters of Ruto, majority of them, if not all, want that type of politics to come to an end. And they are trusting Ruto, the president, to be the one to put it to an end. On the other side, the supporters of Raila, quite a number of them, really don't want their candidate to be outside government. So for them, they want handshake. They are entitled. They feel like they won this election, and so if they cannot be given the leadership, then at least be given a share. And so you find yourself in those with those two warring camps. One, supporters of William, who are saying there must be an end to politics of blackmail, and on the other hand, you have supporters of Raila who are saying we are entitled to be part of this government, otherwise we don't feel it is inclusive. And so Ruto, the president, will be having a tough decision here. If he goes the Raila route and accepts a Chiniamaji kind of handshake, where things are done for the public, there is no handshake, but underground, we have some deals. Raila is managed, is given whatever it is he wants. A few of his colleagues are appointed in the name of inclusivity. Then slowly by slowly, the support base of the president might feel cheated. They might feel like disappointed is the word here, because there is so much expectation that we are putting an end to politics of blackmail. Just the way we put an end to politics of identity politics, that is of I'm from this tribe, I'm like this. No, the last election was purely on what will you do. People were discussing bottom up versus whatever it is that the opposition was offering. So it was from people, from personalities to issues, and that is something that people expect the president to continue with, especially his supporters. They are of the opinion that the president can also end the politics of blackmail, so that moving forward, we don't move into uncertainty after every election. It can't be that you have a country where you spend billions of shillings in election. Actually, it should be cheaper, but because we don't trust each other, we spend so much for accountability. Yet, at the end of it, that accountability will be dismissed, and there will be chaos, and then there will be sharing of government. So in that situation, people feel like there is an uncertainty. After every election, you don't know what will happen. In other countries, they do elections and then move on with life. Here in Kenya, we do election, and then what we do, we waste the first year struggling and squabbling among ourselves. And one person is always key, is at the center of it all. And so supporters of Ruto expect that one to put to an end. So anything else that is short of putting an end to politics of blackmail by Raila will not go well with supporters of Ruto. And the president wants a second term, so chances are that he will value his supporters as opposed to valuing the interest of an individual. And that's why I think the handshake will not be there. I can share more, but I think, in my opinion, no matter what, even in a subtle way, there will be no negotiations here. It's just a matter of if they can discuss and agree on IBC or allow Raila to be part of the opposition in parliament. That one is that is okay. That will happen. But issues of having a handshake where there is sharing of government in whatever form, or somebody seconding friends to be appointed, I don't see that happening. I'm not ruling it out, because politics has taught us over the years that whatever it is that you call impossible is actually very possible in politics, and it can be rationalized. So, but in most cases, having studied the politics of the president for quite a while, it is predictable. William is somebody you can rely on. If he says, I will not do this, chances are he won't do it. So going into this bipartisan talks, the people of opposition should lower their expectations. If the expectations are that we are going to be part of government and we are going to have a power sharing kind of, I don't see that happening. And the people in government, the people who support Dr. Ruto, who perhaps are feeling like we are being cheated and these guys are going to work something out against our will, I think you should also not worry too much, because chances are that Ruto would prefer, the president would prefer, to have his support base intact as opposed to policing Raila Odinga and his team. If you found this enlightening, you can leave a comment and share your view on this topic, and also share this video with others. I thank you. Let us meet next time.